Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my home and into my bedroom, because that's where I like to watch tape, is sitting in bed. A couple things I want to talk about today is a Senior Bowl update with some of the guys who have made the most money at the Senior Bowl so far this week, and why I'm feeling good about the ability to make a lot of progress at fixing the Cowboys defense this offseason. So this is actually my second attempt at making this video. I was about 12 minutes in, and as happens all the time with my laptop, which is old, I did not have it plugged in, and so it died. And so here we go again. All right, so Senior Bowl. What I want to talk about first is the dudes who have made a bunch of money, and then here in a few minutes I'm going to show you the draft board that I'm creating as I watch tape and show you why I feel good about what the Cowboys can do defensively to help this team out a lot in this year's offseason, especially this year's draft. But Senior Bowl, dudes who are playing really, really well in the practices throughout the week that are making themselves money. Number one, Richie Grant, the free safety from the University of Central Florida. If you keep up with my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh, you know that I saw his tape recently, and I'm a big fan. Well, he's been doing the same thing at the Senior Bowl, where he's been making plays as a deep safety, and he is playing his way into being one of the top 1, 2, or 3 safeties taken in the draft. It'll be Trevon Moehrig. It'll be Richie Grant. And then if football God is kind and if teams are smart, Darius Washington will be one of the first few safeties taken, my 5'8" guy from TCU. But Richie Grant, Senior Bowl, he's having a really good week, and he's got really good tape. So he's going to go, I bet, in the top 50 picks. If not, top 60, but he's having a great run at the Senior Bowl. Demetric Felton. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Is a running back at, I didn't write down, he's UCLA, right? He's a smaller running back, but where he's making money right now is he is killing people in the passing game at the Senior Bowl. And that's what people want in running backs today. You don't have to be 230 pounds and just run up the middle all the time. Guys who are valuable in the passing game and can run the ball, that's how you make money. Dwayne Eskridge, Western Michigan wide receiver. He is one of those guys that's under 6 foot, but he is killing it at the Senior Bowl. Easy separator, just, you can't cover him in the one-on-ones. And so Dwayne Eskridge, get ready. That's a guy who's probably, with his tape and his Senior Bowl combined, playing his way into being a top 50 or so draft pick. Other wide receivers. Cade Johnson, South Dakota State, having a nice week. So get to know the name. Check him out on tape if you get a chance. Amari Rogers, Clemson. Big dude, but little dude. He's under 6 foot, but he's a thick guy, and he's one of those dudes that is a smooth, explosive route runner, gets separation, good after catch, having a good week. And Shi Smith, South Carolina wide receiver. The guy who's made the most money at the Senior Bowl so far this year is Quinn Minor, Wisconsin Whitewater. Division III didn't play this year. Dude hadn't played this year. But he's just out there kicking butt. And I heard Dane Brugler talking about him, my buddy at The Athletic, and said that scouts coming into the Senior Bowl were probably thinking, 6th or 7th round pick. His tape was okay, but not great. He hadn't played this year, but dominating at the Senior Bowl may play his way into rounds and rounds and rounds, moving up people's boards for the NFL draft. So Quinn Minor is the dude. Not Dar. Why is my thing autocorrecting when I try to type in names? Dalen, I believe it is, Hayes at Notre Dame. Defensive end, he's been really good rushing the passer, athletic, able to turn the corner. He's just been winning at the Senior Bowl. And his teammate, his last name is Ogundeji at Notre Dame. He's one of the dudes, super long arms. And when you hear NFL teams use the word length, there's a reason. If you have super long arms and you're a super long guy, it's happening at the Senior Bowl right now. Ogundeji, the offensive lineman, can't block him because they can't reach him. Because he knows how to use the fact that he's got 35 and a half or whatever inch arms, keep your hands off of him, and get to the quarterback. Quincy Roche, Miami edge, has had a nice week, and Jabril Cox, the LSU linebacker, is showing off his coverage chops every day at the Senior Bowl. And then I'll name a few DBs as well who have seen flash and have some really nice plays in the one-on-ones. Thomas Graham, Oregon corner. Efiatu Melifonwu, Syracuse corner. And that may be a name to know for the Cowboys because he's huge and he's fast. And according to our Brian Broaddus, that's a couple of the things that the Cowboys are really looking for in their corners. Aaron Robinson, Central Florida corner. He is an absolute dog. He's so much fun to watch. And then Keith Taylor, Washington corner, I've seen make some nice plays. He's a full-size guy as well. Now, what I want to show you guys, if it's still in here from the last time that I was making this video, and it's not, but that's okay because I know how to find it. What I want to do is I want to give you guys a peek at the draft board that I kind of build every year. I play scout, and so I like to build my own draft board, and you can just kind of follow along if you like and see what I think of a bunch of these players and get a feel for at least what I'm looking for and what I think of this draft class. So let me find the picture, since again, I'm not smart enough to leave my super old laptop plugged in, and then I have to try to find things. There it is, screenshot. Okay. Stretch it. Stretch it. Let me make it big enough so that you guys can see it. Thank you, Stomp. Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, I have it ready, and I'm going to bring it to you guys in 2 seconds. Here we go. Boom. All right, so looking at this, you can see what I think of a bunch of the players in this year's draft class. What you're looking at is, for instance, where you see J.O.K. and Farley and names that start at the very, very top, those are first-round grades. Where you see names like Aguilera, Barmore, Washington, those are guys that I'm saying middle of the first to the back of the first. That's where I like them. The second line of guys, where you see like Basham, Wilson, Collins, etc., that's second-round players. And then if you see guys that are down a little bit from there, Nasruddin, sorry, I don't have them lined up perfectly, Browning, McNeil, Cox, those are guys that I'm saying middle of the second to the back of the second. And then where Rousseau, Nixon, Stokes, Gillespie are, that's like third round. And then where Surratt, Warner is, that's like middle third, back third. Whatever. But the more I'm getting into these Senior Bowl guys and the more I'm working through the tape of all these prospects, the better I'm feeling about the Cowboys' ability to get this defense fixed up through this draft class. And it's tough a lot of times for rookies to have an immediate impact. Excuse me, I have to get water. I'm dying today. But looking at this, just think about how a draft could play out. Cowboys first round pick. Let's say it's Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain. When I first started studying this draft, I thought, man, this is the worst draft I've seen in the 7 years that I've done real tape study. I thought this is the worst draft I've seen. And I still don't love it at the top. I'm so sorry about my death that's happening right now. I still don't love it at the top. The guys that you'd be picking in the top 10, I don't feel great about those picks. You feel really good about the player you'd add to your team, but I don't feel great about the number of guys that are deserving of necessarily a top 5, top 10 pick that play defense. But when you start getting into your second round and your third round pick, you can do a lot of damage in terms of fixing a defense. For instance, guy who I watched this morning, Virginia Tech. Best name in the draft if it's pronounced the way it's spelled. Divine Diablo. You can see I cheated. I listed him as a strong safety and as a linebacker because he plays safety at Virginia Tech. And he'll play center field. He'll play a deep half. He'll play down in the box. He'll line up over a slot. He'll do all sorts of different things. But he's like 6'2", almost 230 pounds, something like that. And the way that he moves and the way that he tackles, and he can cover. You watch him against Clemson, picking off Trevor Lawrence as a backside safety, undercutting a deep route coming from the other side. He's a really good player. And to me, that is the sort of player that's the modern linebacker. A team could pick him and play him at safety, and he can be good at that. He's a good safety on tape. But he also comes down to the box a decent amount. And in the run game, you watch him tracking dudes sideline to sideline, running down running backs. Trevor Lawrence tried to take off running away from him, and you can tell, well, faster than Trevor Lawrence, he can run, and he tracks him down. That's the modern linebacker. Because if you're a solid coverage safety and you're a giant, you'll be a great linebacker in coverage. Cover running backs, cover tight ends, playing as a zone dropper, and capable as a run defender. That's the sort of dude that in the second, third round, and I haven't seen him on pretty much anyone's list, so I don't know. Maybe that's a guy you get in the third or fourth round. I have no idea. But you can see where I have him. I have him as a guy that if you picked him at 44, I'd go, okay, that works. So You see Richie Grant in the free safeties. That's the UCF guy. Washington, obviously, I'm higher on than everyone in the world. You have to be a nut job to pick a 5'8", 180-pound safety in the first round. You would be acknowledging, hey, I'm taking a big risk here because I'm banking on him being an outlier. But I'm also a trust the tape believer, so I'm not going to lie to myself and say, well, I'm going to put him in the third round because I think I can get him there. No, I'm going to put him where his tape puts him, and his tape puts him as the best safety in the class. So there you go. You've got some safeties there, and I haven't seen everybody yet. There's going to be more D tackles, more linebackers, more corners, more safeties that are going to be added to this list as I'm working my way through Senior Bowl guys and other people's rankings. But it's a good draft. It's not great at the top, but it's a good draft for adding defense. Names to know maybe for the Cowboys. For instance, my guys in the second round that I have at corner, Asante Samuel Jr., Elijah Molden, Robinson at Central Florida, Graham at Oregon. Those guys are all under 6 foot. So you might just blow them out. Cowboys might not be interested. But Campbell and Stokes are Georgia corners that are both big guys. Campbell can really run. Stokes can run too. Melifonwu, I haven't watched his tape yet, but I've seen his Senior Bowl stuff. The Syracuse corner, he's a giant that can run. Those are names to know. Linebackers. Think about Divine Diablo. Think about Browning at Ohio State. Think about Cox at LSU. Those are guys that can cover and good athletes that can run and play sideline to sideline. Those are the sort of guys you're looking for if you're looking for modern NFL linebackers. So the safeties are there, the corners are there, the linebackers are there. There's a good D tackle group. There's a good edge group. There's a lot of guys that can help the Cowboys defense in this bad boy. So there you go. Now let me figure out where I put this so that I can put my face back on the screen. Hello, I'm back. All right, so that's that. And this time, my laptop's not going to die. Couple of quick mailbag questions, which I like to do. Remember, at youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh, mash the like button on the video and leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. I'll try to take care of you. Just a couple of quick ones today. Dean, he said he wanted to hear about Kadarius Toney. He's a Florida fan, but wants to hear from a non-biased perspective. Kadarius Toney's a stud. He reminds me of Dante Hall. And by that, you can picture it, right? Balance. When you think he's tackled, he's not tackled. He's shaking people. He's dangerous in the open field. Had a case of the drops today at the Senior Bowl practice, but man, he's fun. And he'll be a guy that's taken somewhere either end of the first or in the second round. He's a good player. And then Freddie, and I promise I don't want to talk about this, but people believe it, so I want to try to help you. I want to help educate people. I really do. I'm not yelling at you. But this is about the Matt Stafford to Dallas and Dak Prescott and money and save a bunch of money and should you get Stafford. He said Dak's had far better talent than Matt Stafford. I'm not saying Stafford's better, but the stat comparison's ridiculous. Dak should be better considering his surroundings. I'm going to do this very briefly, and then hopefully I'm never going to have to do it again. So when you talk about Matt Stafford and Dak Prescott, Dak's better. Dak's always been better. The idea that Matt Stafford's had bad surroundings is stupid. Because, first of all, the first half of his career, he was throwing to prime Megatron. Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer. Terrible weapons. And then about 5 years into his career, he also has Golden Tate, who's going for 1,000 yards every year, 1,300 yards one year. Lately, he's had Marvin Jones and Kenny Golladay, which a couple of years ago, people were thinking was a top 3 or 5 wide receiver combo in the league. Eric Ebron had his best year as a player as soon as he left Detroit and Stafford. So just stop. And Pro Football Focus says 6 times Matt Stafford has had a top 10 pass blocking offensive line, according to their grading. So Matt Stafford's had the same thing Dak's had. Sometimes he's had it really good. Sometimes he hasn't. The idea that Dak has constantly had Travis Frederick and Tyron Smith and Zach Martin and the Lyle Collins that we got 2 years ago as his offensive line, that's asinine. It's just not true. Guys have been missing games. Tyron's been out. Martin's been out. Collins just missed a season. Frederick retired. The idea that he's always had awesome weapons is insane because there was a time where they went into a season and said, Allen Hurns is your number one, bro. Go get him, Tiger. So no, Dak has had a mixed bag. Stafford has had a mixed bag. And so through the first 5 years of their career, I'll just give you, let's see, QBR, total QBR. The best one of the best catch-all measurements for quarterback play that factors in everything. Sacks, down and distance, touchdowns, it factors in everything, right? Stafford's first 5 years, his QBR 37, 50, 60, 56, 53. So he topped out at 60, and he lived in the 50s. Let's see, what are Dak's first 5 years? I didn't have this in front of me to start this. I just know that he's better, so I know how this is going to turn out when I look it up. Dak's first 5 years, QBR, 77, 70, 55, 71, 78. So 4 of Dak's first 5 years are years that Matt Stafford couldn't get close to in his first 5 years. 4 of the 5. Touchdown ratio, interception ratio, yards per attempt, completion percentage. It doesn't matter how you want to measure quarterback play. Dak's a better player than Stafford. Stop trying to get worse at quarterback on purpose. It's stupid. If your idea is to get worse at quarterback because you'll save some money so you can spend $50 million on Brandon Carr and you think your team is going to be better, because that's what they did when they got a big-ticket free agent, and Carr was an okay player. But if you think the difference because you saved some money at quarterback is going to be made up because you sign a free agent defender, you're crazy. Chill out. And I'm not saying Dak's the best. I think Deshaun Watson's better than Dak. I think there's 5 or 6 guys probably that are better than Dak. But the other thing is Dak gets better every year. I wanted him to get better at throwing deep balls in an offseason. So he did. He became one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. Then I was like, all right, stop taking sacks. The next offseason, guess what? He did. So he gets better every year. He's been better than Matt Stafford his entire career. So chill out with trying to get rid of the quarterback to save a couple of bucks to sign a player. It ain't going to make your team better. It's not. If you've got a way to upgrade at quarterback, cool. I'm all ears. If you think that the Cowboys team is in such a bad spot that they should blow it up and rebuild, I'll listen to you. Stop trying to get worse at quarterback on purpose. Leave in the comments, youtube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh, what you want to talk about tomorrow. And make sure you're mashing that like button and that you're subscribed. Say hi to CD, the cutest boy. All right, and I love you. Remember, you don't know what people are going through, so be cool to everybody. I love you. I'll see you on the radio, radio.com app if you're out of the listening area. 2 to 7, G-Bag Nation, Monday through Friday on your home of the Cowboys 105.3 The Fan. And I'll see you on the radio.